Hello, everybody. Joe Big Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of Summer Pockets Reflection Blue. Where last time we left off, some stuff happened. Just like I called it. Umi is starting to fade from people's consciousnesses as she's looped too many times. Her soul is too thin, or something or another did that effect. Anywho, I'm tired. I just got home from work. Wanted to record. When did I want to record? Yesterday? Did I want to record yesterday? I think I did. Today's Wednesday? Yeah. Yeah, I meant to record yesterday. However, fate has once again conspired against me. No. Yes? No, 2 days. It's been 2 days since I recorded. Because I needed to go grocery shopping on Monday. But the grocery store didn't open until 9. So I got off work around 8, so I had to hang around for an hour and then go grocery shopping. And then I came home, and by the time I had done all that and made breakfast, it was like noon, and I'm like, I gotta go to sleep. And then, yesterday, the original plan was, yep, okay, got home from work, I'll go to sleep early, so that way I can wake up in the afternoon and record. And then, as I'm sleeping, honk shoe, me. I get a call on my phone, which is never a good sign, especially from a work number, which is a very bad sign. And pretty much, long and short of it is I have to cover for someone else for this thing that's going on. And it basically meant that all the training that I had coming due over the next couple months was due like 2 days ago because I'm filling in a slot for something, which I wasn't originally supposed to be slated for, so I had to go in early and do training nonstop all night and stay late, which is why I'm starting at almost 9:30 right now. After I got home. So that was fun. Uh hopefully nothing too crazy happens tonight. Which means that I'll need to do a not a super short episode today, but once I get around to an hour and a half, I don't care where we're at. I'm fucking pulling the ripcord. I'm out because I want to get some sleep. I want to wake up, actually make some dinner. Want to chill for a bit. No one likes to live by just sleep work. That shit sucks, especially when work sucks. It's like 95% humidity outside. It's like fucking Silent Hill. It's disgusting. It's awful right now, which makes working even worse because you do anything more than like walk in that type of humidity, any mild exertion, you're just going to start sweating. Just water condensates on you and you just keep dripping and it's awful. I fucking hate the humidity. But that is going to be where I'm going to end my rant because we have no background music right now and it's really awkward. So let's just continue on right here. Umi! The moment I woke up, I was already thinking about Umi. I remember. I was relieved that I hadn't forgotten her. I couldn't do anything about it. My memories faded overnight. And I need to turn down my headset volume. I wonder if she's still asleep. Oh, yeah, that's right. And then they took the photos that are getting developed off island, so it's going to take like 3 days for them to dramatically forget about her and then re-remember, and it'll be so sad. But then we'll be happy because they remembered. But then there'll be something else to twist the knife. Up until just a little while ago, she woke up every morning. But lately I've been getting up on my own. She woke me up every morning. I guess I should go wake her up soon. Umi, I'm coming in! I called out and entered her room, which we were using as the living room background CG because we never have actually been to Umi's room. As expected, she was still in her futon. Umi, it's morning. Let's go to the radio calisthenics. She mumbled in reply. You awake? Does mean you don't want to go today? She seemed kind of out of it. She was gradually waking up, though. Oh, you mean Shira? She hasn't come over yet today. She sounded like she was about to cry. I had a feeling she wouldn't get out of bed until Shiraha showed up. Umi, Mom's here!
みちゃん、お母さんよ。お母さん。
Ah, there she is. Umi finally popped her head out from under the covers.
お母さん。抱っこ。
She stuck her arms out of her futon toward
いい
Shiraha.
わよ、抱っこ。でも、布団出て、ちゃんと起きてから
It's a
ね。
negotiation. Which you gotta be careful with. Kids are definitely in the you give them an inch category. Umi was finally up and about. She sat on Shiraha's lap again, folding origami. But it looked like it wasn't going very well. Even worse than last time, actually. She kept clumsily folding away at the paper, groaning all the while. But no matter what she tried, she couldn't get it to fold properly. I figured she was probably trying to make another paper airplane. I could just barely figure it out, watching her. She just couldn't make it turn out right, and was on the verge of tears. Umi. It was painful to watch.
大丈夫。お母さんが手伝ってあげるから。
Shiraha took Umi's hands in hers and started carefully guiding Umi's
ま
folds.
たみんなで飛行機飛ばす？飛行機飛ばす。
She replied with a smile, but the way she spoke was a lot less clear and well-developed than it used to be. Shiraha talked about infantile regression, but at this point she might be acting even younger than that. To top it off, her symptoms were getting worse and worse. Okay then, I'll go make us something to eat. Yeah, I mean, it is the only thing I can properly make. But it'll be tasty. I'll make some mom's training, of course.
食べる。お父さん、美味しくできるかしらね。
Leave it to me.
じゃあ、チャーハン食べたら飛行機飛ばそう。お父さんがチャーハン作ってる間に飛行機折っちゃおうね。
I watched them happily work on their airplanes as I made the fried rice. When they were finished, the three of us sat around the dining table. Is it tasty?
うまい。
Nice, nice. So, how many points today? Umi tilted her head as she chewed. It's almost like she hadn't understood my question. You know, the points? You've been judging my fried rice and giving them a score every day, right? She looked confused.
忘れちゃったの？
She wouldn't say anything other than, or I was starting to get really frustrated. But she seemed to think the fried rice was tasty, at least. Well, I guess if you like it, that's what really matters.
そうね。
We forced ourselves to accept the situation. Umi yawned. No, stop. I just got home from work. You don't make me tired. Ugh. The fried rice she scooped up fell from her spoon.
こぼれてるよ。もう眠いの？食べ終わるまで我慢できない？
Umi was already nodding off. She was so sleepy, she couldn't help it. Eventually, she fell asleep for real. Falling asleep mid-meal? She really is like a little kid. Shiraha cleaned up after Umi, taking the spoon from her hand. She looked worried. I felt the same way. Would Umi keep regressing further and further into infancy from now on? But why? I was all the more worried because I had no clue what the cause was. Not to mention that Umi's presence in our minds was gradually becoming weaker and weaker.
飛行機は明日だね。
Shiraha smiled, hiding away her concern. I forced to smile as well. Yeah, I guess. In that moment, a promise for tomorrow was all the moral support we could find. There's only a tiny bit of summer vacation remaining. Shiraha came over to hang out in the morning. Oh, you're here pretty early, huh? Were you that excited to come see me?
バカ、そんなんじゃないよ。
Then why?
え、それは
Shiraha pondered, like she was searching for an answer.
ね、
Watermelon bars. Did you forget?
おかしいな。確か何か気になることがあって。え、
I was shocked. A girl I didn't know was in the house. A moment later, I was shocked by the fact that I'd been shocked in the first place. She wasn't some girl I didn't know. We both knew her very well. We've lived together this whole summer.
そうよ、この
Yeah, you know, that one. Shira's words abruptly cut off. I knew why. I was in the same boat. Couldn't remember the girl's name. Neither of us could bring to mind the name of the girl we both knew so well. that's it. Umi! At last, I barely managed to remember.
あ、海よ、海ちゃん。
Shiraha finally remembered too.
私は海ちゃんに会いに来たの。
Ah, right. That was it. Came to see Umi, of course. The two of us kept repeating her name. We were trying to comfort her. But Umi didn't seem to have paid it any mind and was vacantly staring towards us. We were the only ones in shock. How could we have possibly forgotten her name when she was right in front of us? To make matters worse, I felt like if I let my guard down, I'd forget her again, whether she was in front of me or not. I had to concentrate firmly and keep myself aware of her existence. We promised to fly the paper airplanes we made yesterday, right?
そうそう。
Squeeze. Umi hugged Shiraha's waist.
海ちゃん、お母さん、ここにいるよ。大丈夫だから。ね。
Felt like Shiraha's words were less meant for Umi and more something she needed to hear herself. She couldn't help but worry, and I was the same way. I could feel Umi's presence fading further and further away. I had a feeling that at this rate, she'd disappear entirely.
じゃあ、飛行機持ってお外行こうか。
Umi shook her head.
昨日作った飛行機飛ばさないの？
This time, she nodded. She wouldn't speak at all. Yeah, I was about to say, are we in the fully nonverbal stage now? Hey, Umi? Can you at least try telling us what you want to do? I suddenly felt uneasy and tried to coax her.
海ちゃん？
Umi didn't say a single word. It's like she'd forgotten how to speak entirely. Maybe we were just reading too much into her shyness, but whether or not she'd really forgotten, seeing her like this just made us more worried than ever. Well, that's fine, I guess. We'll just have to find something else to do.
そうね。絵本読んであげようか。じゃあ、お父さんが作ってくれたあの本。
Shiraha began reading the book that had made to the still speechless Umi.
昔々、世界には色がありませんでした。
I couldn't tell if she understood the words or not, but Umi quietly perked up her ears as Shiraha read. I found myself naturally listening along with her. Long, long time ago, the world had no colors. A butterfly with beautiful wings lived in that world. The butterfly journeyed all around to many different places. Everywhere it went, the butterfly gave the people it met some of the color from its beautiful wings. Before the butterfly knew it, its beautiful wings had become pure white. But still, it continued its journey. It kept flying, even when its wings were worn out and ragged. No one could even tell it was the same butterfly that once was so beautiful. But the world was full of color. It had become a thing of beauty. When the butterfly finally returned to its homeland, it quietly rested atop a flower. It had met so many people, it was finally satisfied. The butterfly quietly fell into a deep sleep. As I listened, I thought, I had a feeling I'd gone through this thought process before, but I was pretty sure that the story was about Umi. Umi was the butterfly. The journey was Umi's voyage through time, and as Umi repeated that journey over and over, she became gradually more and more worn out, becoming more and more thoroughly like a toddler, just like the Umi who stood before us now. If that's the case, was an ending like that of the picture book waiting for Umi in the future? I'm overthinking it. I shook my head to dispel the wild delusions filling my mind.
そうだ。この話、まだ続きがあったよね。
Shura turned another page. And just then...
お腹すいた。
Oh, you do got a couple words in you. Umi spoke. And so long since we heard her say anything, Shira and I couldn't tear our eyes away from
お
her.
腹減ったの？
Hungry, huh? Leave it to Dad. I'll whip up some tasty fried rice for you. I realized just how happy it made me to hear Umi speaking, even just a little. Shira was smiling happily as well. That's right, I should smile. I decided to do all sorts of fun stuff with Umi this summer, didn't I? We weren't finished with Umi's picture diary yet either. We still hadn't done everything that Umi wanted to. Umi, what was it you wanted to do today? I took a look into the picture diary. On today's page, she'd drawn herself sleeping alongside her mom. She'd drawn stars in the background, so I didn't think she was talking about a nap or anything. You want to sleep with Mom tonight? I looked at Shiraha. She smiled and nodded to me.
お母さんと一緒に寝ようね。
But nighttime was still a long ways off. Long ways off? Yeah, that's what that said. Okay then, let's spend the whole day playing together. For the rest of the day, we played as if we were looking back on everything we'd done that summer. We made origami. We sang the song that Samugi taught us. We played hide and seek, just the three of us. Umi continued to wear the same faint smile the whole time. Before we knew it, our day of fun was over. Night fell. Shirha called her grandfather and received permission to stay over at our house. Alright, that should do it. I laid out the futon in my room. The one single futon. Are you sure okay with just the one? We've got more than enough futons in this house.
いいの。二人で一緒の布団に寝るのよね。
Well, looks like this is what Umi wanted this time. Well then, have a good night. Squeeze. When I tried to leave, Umi held me back.
お父さんも。
Huh? Me too? You mean, you want me to sleep with you guys too? Nah, that's not... I looked at Shiraha. She was blushing. She obviously felt put on the spot. That's really not a good idea.
いや、お父さんも。
I can like sleep in the corner of the room. Give me like a sweatshirt or a hoodie and I can like ball it up and, sleep on it like a cat. But, once again, Umi got all teary-eyed. Starting to feel put on the spot, too.
いいよ。
Huh?
私なら大丈夫。
Or it could be like, at the sleepover and there's not enough blankets, so he just has to rip out a tatami mat and fucking crawl underneath it. That's his blanket for the night.
今夜は三人で一緒に寝よう。
No, but...
いいの。だって、海ちゃんがそうしたいんだもん。
And you wouldn't try anything untowards with a child present, would you? Shiraha smiled as she patted Umi on the head. Shiraha's feelings, her desire to grant Umi's wish no matter what it took, were so loud and clear to me that it's like they were my very own. You're right. Okay then, we'll all sleep together tonight. Should I go get another futon at the very least? Want all three of us to sleep on the same futon?
狭くない？
Yeah, like, it's gonna be like fucking knees knocking the entire night.
大丈夫。
Feet all tangled up, fighting for the blanket.
キュッてして寝るから。
Well, she must want us to get nice and close to each other. I could see a bunch of potential problems with that, but if we keep Umi between us, I guess it'll work out. One futon it is then.
寝る
Umi lay down right in the middle of the futon. You're okay with sleeping already? Okay. I was getting nervous. We prepared for bed. We changed clothes. I didn't have anything to feel guilty about, but my heart was still pounding. Okay, turning out the lights. The three of us lay on the futon. We really looked like a happy family, sleeping together. Naturally, Umi was in the middle.
そっち狭くない？大丈夫？
I'll manage. Half of my body was pretty much falling off the futon, though. Umi was in high spirits, sandwiched by Shiraha and me on either side. I mean, tatami mats aren't that uncomfortable. They're a bit rough, but I've slept on, asphalt before. Like, it's fine. You'll manage. I mean, she was still barely speaking. But even so, I got told that she was having a
明
blast.
日は何して遊ぼうか。
This feels like the sort of conversation elementary schoolers have on summer break.
そうだね。
But Umi's an elementary schooler for real, so that's just fine. So, what will we do tomorrow? Talking about tomorrow in the dark room together made me feel really fulfilled. It could be that this is what real happiness feels like. Suddenly, a wish popped into my mind. I wish the time could just stop, then and there. But Shiro was still talking about tomorrow. Talking about the future. If time were to stop, that future would never come. I couldn't reconcile that contradiction.
あ、そうだ。明日は花火があるよ。
Like, real ones? The big sort?
打ち上げ花火。この島では年に一度の大きいやつだよ。夏の終わりを告げるの。
I see. Talking about summer's end made me feel a bit sad. That meant our time together would end, too. More than anything else, I was afraid of the time we'd spent with Umi vanishing away. But I couldn't let that fear show on my face. I'll look forward to that. I poured everything I had into putting on a brave front. Hear that, Umi? Fireworks! Have you ever seen a big fireworks show? Well, that's fine. You'll see one tomorrow, after all.
一緒に花火見ようね。楽しみ。
Her speech was faltering, but she smiled. It was a very sleepy sort of
もう
smile.
寝なきゃね。おやすみ。
No, don't talk about going to sleep. Oh. Yeah, good night. Umi fell asleep in an instant. It was like she'd had her batteries removed. Shiraha gently patted her on the head, smiling all the while as she quietly snored away. And as we watched her, happy as could be, I kept praying to whoever or whatever might hear my words that we could stay like that forever. August 28th, weather sunny. I went to bed in the same futon with Mom. Felt like I'd been dreaming for ages. Couldn't remember what sort of dream it was. But it felt like it had gone on forever. Long enough to throw my mind into disorder. And so, when I finally awoke, I was momentarily confused, unsure if this was reality or just another dream. Morning, huh? It was bright outside. For some reason, I felt incredibly lonely. Why would I feel so lonely this early in the morning? Why would I feel lonely like this so early in a brand new day? I felt a certain sense of loss, like something incredibly important had been taken from me. I turned my head. Shiro was sleeping next to me in the same futon. Shiro rolled over. She was facing my direction. Her eyes slowly opened. When she saw me, a look of bewilderment passed across her face. Good morning. Might as well start things off politely.
おはよう。
She returned a similarly perplexed greeting.
これって私たち一緒に寝たんだっけ？
In the literal sense of the words, yes. I'm not really sure either, actually. Judging by the situation, sure looks that way. Whatever had happened, the fact that we're sleeping in the same futon was certain. The embarrassment and awkwardness of the situation had us both acting stiff. But we'd become lovers over the course of that summer vacation. We'd made all sorts of memories with each other. I was sure of it. But something seemed out of
どう
place.
してお泊まりしたんだろう？
I can't remember either.
何かした？
I don't think so. Most likely, nothing like that happened. But in that case, how did we end up like this? I was getting more and more confused. But, more importantly, I glanced around the room. Me and Shira aside, it was deserted. I felt a crushing sensation in my chest. What's going on? It feels like something's missing. I had a clear and definite sense that something that should have been there was gone. Just where could this feeling of loss be coming from?
私も何か大切なことを忘れてるみたいな気分。
I know, right? But what we could words, but what could we be forgetting? Too many fucking noises in that sentence. It was a fuzzy, hazy feeling. It was something incredibly important. But I couldn't remember a single thing about it. It had been such an irreplaceable presence to me. I could feel a gaping hole left in its place in my heart. But if it was really that precious to me, how could I have forgotten it so thoroughly?
大丈夫？
Yeah, I'm fine.
これって何なのかな？なんか怖い。
Yeah, it's kind of spooky. Shiraha wrapped her arms around herself. Looked like she was trembling. I gently embraced her. But we remembered. We remembered that we forgot something at the very least. If we'd forgotten the fact that we'd forgotten something, there'd be nothing we could do about it. But we remembered. In other words, we hadn't quite lost everything. Not yet. But when I tried to reach out towards that dim trace of memory, it just faded further away. Who's that? It's kind of early for visitors. The person waiting in the entryway turned out to be Ao. She stared at me, her eyes wide. You're the one who showed up out of nowhere, so why are you all surprised?
いや、だってね。
What, Shiraha right behind us? I looked over to my side. Shiraha had already gotten changed and was standing next to me.
お泊まりですか？みたい。
Probably. Shiraha and I replied vaguely. But I guess I assumed that meant we were trying to hide something. She blushed violently.
まあ、恋人同士だから問題ないっちゃないんだけど。だけど。
But it makes you jealous.
白羽さん、今度ちょっと二人で話しましょう。
Yeah, what, you need some more material?
どうして敬語なの？いえ、なんとなく。
So, anyway, what are you doing over here so early?
あ、そうだった。朝一の連絡船でこれが届いたから持ってきたの。なんかすっごい楽しみにしてたみたいだったからさ。
Ah, right. I remembered the disposable camera photos I'd sent out to get developed 3 days back. I took them with Shiraha to preserve our memories of the summer. Shiraha nodded slightly. She must have just remembered too.
はい、焼き増しがいるならまた言って。
She passed me a bag from the photo shop. I took out the bundle of photos. Within were nothing but photos of They were to help me be less lonely when summer vacation ended and I had to go back to my hometown. Mountain of pictures of her, taken with that in mind. Now I peeked over at the pictures too.
へえ、白羽がこんな風に笑ってくれるようになったのはあんたの。そうかな。うん、そうよ。
She's looking at it, she's like, I don't know, I like him, but I don't like him that much. Like, weird. And that was true. She was smiling brightly in all the pictures. With them around to help me, I felt like I'd be able to make do, even when we were separated.
はあ、こういうのをバカップルって言うのよね。
In one of the pictures, I was standing alongside Shiraha. I stretched my arm out as far as I could, and taken the picture with the camera pointed at us. It was a memento, to remind us of our summer together. That was why we'd taken it. That was probably why we were smiling so genuinely in it. But somehow... something's missing.
え、写真の枚数間違ってる？
No, that's not what I meant exactly. The longer I stared at our smiling faces in that picture, the more sad they made me. The fact that I didn't know why made me all the more sad about it. I felt like something precious was missing. That feeling was vague, ambiguous, and completely unfounded. Could it be that what I'd really wanted? Could it be that what I'd really wanted a memento of was something else entirely? What could it have been? The house felt weirdly empty to me.
なんか疲れたね。
Yeah, same. For some reason. For some reason. Why would that be? I couldn't shake the feeling that I was forgetting something important. Shira and I had taken that picture as a memento of our summer together. Right? Wanna have breakfast?
うん、作るよ。
Nah, I'll handle it. Yeah, if you eat good food all the time, Shirha, you'll get spoiled. You need to slum it every now and again. You know, have some absolute man slop. I went to the kitchen and started gathering my ingredients, like always. Like always. I made fried rice. With practiced technique and skillful motions. Why am I making fried rice anyway? I was pretty sure I was totally incapable of cooking well. Why would I have decided to learn to cook this summer? Shiraha, it's ready.
うん、
I made a bit too much for just 2 people. Now that said, it was a bit too late for 3.
いただきます。
I mean, a bit too little for 3. Yeah, let's eat. With the usual pleasantries out of the way, we dug into the fried rice. It was delicious. I couldn't believe I'd made it myself. How many points? I don't know. I just kind of felt the urge to
う
ask.
ーん、20点。
Someone's a critic. But I guess compared to your fried rice, that's about right.
うーん、でも美味しい。
Thanks. After we finished eating, Shirha washed the dishes for me. I was drinking tea in the living room. There was some sort of notebook on the table. Now, where'd this come from? I grabbed it and opened it up. It was full of hand-drawn pictures and
絵
text.
本？
Shira had finished washing up and was back from the kitchen. Well, it looks like, yeah. And a handmade one at that. Isn't this my handwriting?
わからないけど、ハイリーが書いたの？
No, not as far as I can remember. I couldn't draw nearly that well. The writing was probably mine. Just when and why did I make something like this?
夏休みの宿題とか？
Like an independent project? No, they never gave out homework like that in high school. Or they never give. Present tense. I was thinking like, oh, is it something from when you were a kid that somehow made its way here? But then also it's like, but your handwriting develops. Like pretty drastically from like elementary school to high school, at least. I hope it does. I work with some absolute fucking toddlers when it comes to writing. Oh my god. Like, I don't see them write, but I'm pretty sure they just fucking grip the pencil in their fist with a point sticking out the bottom and just go like a fucking 2-year-old with a crayon. Holy shit. It drives me up the wall. I gave it a read. It was a sort of sad story. Can't imagine I could have thought up something like this. The more and more I thought about it, the more that hazy feeling inside me grew.
これって紙飛行機。
This time, Shiraha found some paper airplanes lying around. There were 3 of them. I folded this one, right? I wasn't sure when I made it, but its design was one I had perfected when I was a kid.
これは多分私。
Shiraha picked out one that she'd made as well. The Extra Max Blast Nectar 2, was it?
エクスネオマキシマムブラストネクスト2。
I actually remember the whole thing. I could feel the love the creators had poured into each of these airplanes. This summer, Shiraha and I had competed in all sorts of things, and paper airplane making was among them. We both gotten fired up and threw a ton of them all around. But there's still one paper airplane left over. It was a wide-winged paper airplane made from rainbow origami paper.
これは？
I didn't make it. It's not yours either?
違う。
Then who did make it? It was a mysterious airplane, its creator unknown. As I stared at it, I felt a pain in my chest. The pain wasn't all there was to it. It was happy, but sad as well. Like I might burst out in both laughter and tears simultaneously. Strange feeling that I had no name for. Oh, should we try giving them a throw? We flew the paper airplanes together. 1, 2! We let them loose at the same time. The 2 planes rode the wind and soared cleanly into the sky. However, it wasn't even a little bit fun. Oh god, it's like when you go on a fucking date in Tokimeki Memorial and you choose the wrong location with the wrong girl and she's like, this sucks, never fucking ask me to do this again. And then just walks away. And it's like, fuck! Like, no! And then she fucking bombs your ass and you're like, ah! Something about the situation felt really out of place. Did I skip a line there? No, I could tell Shiraha felt the same way I did. Okay. Why had we been so sure that doing this was going to be fun in the first place?
もう一回。
Sure, one more. Once again, we tossed our airplanes into the wind. They flew even further than last time. But it was the same after all. No matter how far they flew, it wasn't fun at all. To the contrary, for some reason it made me horribly sad. The tragic feeling that something about it was unforgivably wrong. But as to what was so unforgivable, I had no idea. No matter how many times we threw the paper airplanes, that feeling remained. And the more and more we flew them, the stronger that tragic feeling that this wasn't how things should be grew.
なんか。
She never finished her thought. Seems she couldn't put her feelings into words. No, there's no point in doing this any longer, is there? For all I knew, it might just make us feel worse. But can we try it just one last time? Just once more. I wanted to fly them one final time.
いいよ。
Shira must have felt the same way I did. Once more, we readied our paper airplanes. 1, 2! The moment the paper airplanes left our hands, I found myself thinking back to that third airplane whose creator was a mystery. Just what was up with that one? Unswayed by my bewilderment, our paper airplane slowly rode off on the wind. And then, before I knew it, it's like I could see that third paper airplane sailing along ahead of them. Catching the sunlight, it traced a glittering path through the sky. What?
あ、
May very well have been a trick of the light. But I was sure that I'd witnessed that scene somewhere before. Made me feel a strange sense of nostalgia. But why? And at the same time, I felt like I'd seen it quite recently. My emotions were overflowing, but I still had no idea why. The scenery began to blur. I could feel something warm trickling down my cheeks. It took quite some time before I realized I was crying. No matter how hard I looked, I couldn't see that third paper airplane anywhere, or see it anymore. I was astonished by just how painful that was. I looked over to find Shira crying as well. What was going on? What was it that the two of us had lost? If it had to be this painful, I'd rather forget that I'd lost anything in the first place. For a moment, a thought sprung into my mind. But a second later, I found myself thinking it back in a panic. I didn't know why, but it felt like I had to. And as I did, I abruptly remembered just one thing. A certain promise. We promised to go see fireworks today, didn't we? Shira replied with an indistinct murmur of agreement. Then she nodded.
覚えてる。
That's right. We definitely promised to go see the fireworks. And not with each other. There was someone else. We promised them that we'd go together. But I couldn't remember who that person was. All that I knew for sure was that they were an incredibly important presence in my life.
行ってみよう、花火。もしかしたら何か思い出すかも。
Yeah, you're right. Whether we remembered or not, a promise was a promise. We couldn't break it. After the sun set, we headed out to the beach.
ここ穴場なの。
What, the fucking boat launch? Like, I guess, like, if you look at the shore, it's a little more tucked away, but it's not like we're on, like, some cliff in the woods overlooking the ocean. This is like the public beach.
ここなら人も少なくて落ち着いて見られるから。
That sounds nice, yeah. Watching fireworks all alone with Shira, with no one else around to get in the way, sounded fantastic. Or at least, it should have. But once again, for some reason, I felt so desolate I could barely stand it.
なんかちょっと寂しかったかな。
Looked like Shira was feeling the same way. Maybe we'd feel better if we watched them from somewhere a bit more lively? No, that wouldn't work. The lack of a crowd wasn't why we were feeling this way. Whatever it was that was causing us this grief was just that big of a deal to us. But if it was such a big deal, why couldn't we remember it? Just a bit longer until the fireworks, right?
もう少し。
We waited for them. We waited for them to begin side by side. But for some reason, we kept a space between us, just about large enough for a child to fit in. That's the space for Christ. We were alone and all, so part of me thought we might as well snuggle up a bit. But somehow, it just felt right for us to keep standing this way. Yeah, so there's room for Jesus between the two of you. What a good, Catholic upbringing you've had, Takahata Hadi. I felt like something incredibly precious was occupying that empty space between us. The fireworks began. Brilliant flowers of light bloomed in the night sky. Wow, didn't expect this big of a show.
でしょ？
Each firework soared into the air, then illuminated the dark sky in a flash. It was a fantastic display, far exceeding my expectations for a tiny island like this. Watching them bloom and scatter through the sky, for some reason I found myself weeping. I knew that I wanted to show that person this beautiful, most summer-like spectacle. But who could that person be? And I couldn't figure it out, and I was once again overwhelmed with sadness. We promised. The words slipped from my lips before I could stop them. But what promise was I talking about?
Heidi.
Shiroha looked over at me. In the light of the fireworks, I could see that her face was stained with tears as well. We couldn't keep our promise, huh? The sadness was so intense I couldn't bear it. I couldn't even remember who I'd made that promise with. It overwhelmed me. As the fireworks disappeared one after another, I could feel that precious something vanishing away from me as well. The summer brought all the time that Shira and I spent together. Hadn't there been someone else? Someone irreplaceable along with us? But I could feel the priceless time that we spent with that person vanishing away piece by piece, just like the fading fireworks. One after another. With each flame that died out in the sky, my heart felt like it was broken all over again. I cursed my own powerlessness to stop it. I found myself clenching my hands into tight fists, with kind of weirdly short fingers on that fist. Kind of don't stare at it too hard. It's a little funny looking, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst hand. Hands are hard. Don't look at it too hard though. But also don't blame them too much. Tight enough I felt my nails digging into my palms. I'm so sorry. Once again, the words slipped from my mouth. And again, the fireworks flew into the sky. But then... Huh? Yeah, I was about to say with all the white flashes, we're gonna get some transition with it once it fades back. I felt something warm. It was someone's hand. I thought it might be Shiraha's, but no. It was a hand far smaller than hers. Almost like that of a child. I felt like I was about to remember something. My hands relaxed and opened. As they did, that tiny hand grasped onto mine and squeezed it tightly. It was a familiar, nostalgic sensation. It hadn't been long at all since I'd last felt it. Yet still, it was nostalgic enough to bring me to tears. And that beloved person was standing right beside me. I heard Shira gasp with surprise as well. And then, almost simultaneously, we looked over at the space that should have been empty between us. And there was that child. At the same time, we remembered. About our summer. About how we met. And about the little girl who we met as well. About the fun, priceless time that we'd spent with her. About that little girl who we'd loved more than we could stand. Everything. We remembered all of it.
Umi-chan!
Shiraha embraced her. Squeezing her little body as tightly as she could, she wept openly as Umi just kind of stood there with a gormless expression. Kind of just taking in the radio waves. Oh, no, her eyebrows are up a little in this one. Okay, I couldn't see it before, so it's more of a, not uncomfortable, but kind of like, hey, finally remembered, hey, kind of thing. But she also doesn't have enough bandwidth to, probably think those thoughts, but maybe somewhere deep down, I don't know. A firework burst brightly above, illuminating the two of them. Umi looked equal parts distressed and delighted as she allowed Shira to cling to her. Umi, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Your dad and your mom too, we both forgot about her. Umi replied with a simple, quiet smile, as if she wasn't upset at all.
Umi-chan, もうどこにも行かないよね。
Shiraha pleaded, but Umi didn't answer. Her smile was slightly strained.
どこにも行っちゃダメよ。お母さんたちとずっと一緒にいて。
Teardrops poured down her cheeks as she spoke.
お母さん、泣かないで。
Umi reached up towards Shiraha's grief-stricken face. She gently wiped away her
ずっ
tears.
とずっと私のそばにいてほしいの。私もっといいお母さんになるから。
Unable to bear any more, Umi's smile finally crumbled.
また一緒に折り紙をしよう。お歌も一緒に歌おう。かくれんぼしよう。お母さん、
Mhm,
海ちゃんが
mhm.
どこにいても絶対に見つけるから。そして遊んだ後は一緒にお家に帰って一緒にお布団に入っておやすみなさいをして。
For a moment, Shiraha was too choked up to speak.
朝はちゃんとおはようって言いたい。
I won't let it show through, so you won't know unless I tell you. But you know, it's getting me a little. You know, I feel it. I feel it. I'm not a heartless monster, like some of you probably assume I am. You know, is it gonna make me cry? Probably not. But you know, I'm feeling things. Remember that night when we slept together, a happy family. But the next morning, Umi was gone. We'd forgotten her. That was why she only barely managed to choke the words out. Next time, Shiro wanted to say it to her properly. Those words that promised the beginning of another fun day.
お母さんにちゃんとおはようって言わせて。お母さん。
The tears that Umi had been holding back this whole time began to stream down her face. Once they overflowed, they could no longer be stopped.
私もお母さんともっと一緒にいたい。本当？それじゃあ。でも
Mm-hmm.
それはもう
Yep, we're already on borrowed time.
みたい。ごめんなさい。謝らないで。お父さんもごめんね。
She looked at me as well. We said we don't apologize. You can stay with us forever. Umi shook her head violently, forcefully enough to send her tears flying.
どうしてお母さんじゃダメなの？
Umi shook her head once more.
そんなことない。すごく楽しい夏休みだった。本当に最高の夏休みだった。母さんと一緒にいられて嬉しかった。
Umi smiled through her tears. Shiraha broke into a teary smile as well. Their smiling faces looked incredibly similar. It struck me that they really were mother and
お
daughter.
父さん。
After that, Umi turned to me once again. She faced me more directly than ever before and looked straight at me. And then, still looking me in the eye, she smiled sadly.
お父さんありがとう。
Why would you thank
こ
me?
の夏がとっても楽しかったから。
I could feel a pressure building up inside me as she spoke. I see. Fun, huh? Enduring the feelings welling up within me, I smiled at her. She smiled back, her face still soggy with tears. But, hey. But, from now on, we'll have even more fun. Even after summer's over. In fall, and in winter, and in spring, too. We'll have fun together, forever and ever. Dad, I'll make it fun for you. Umi beamed, even as she cried. Once more, the fireworks lit up her tear-stained but smiling face with multicolored light. Umi looked upward. And, once again, a massive flower bloomed into the night sky.
花火見られてよかった。すごく 綺麗だね。
Yeah, they really are.
約束守れてよかった。
Then, let's make another one, right now. What should I promise this time? Umi didn't reply. As I looked down at her sad smile, felt like she was drifting off somewhere far away. That's it. You can just draw it in your diary again. A page for tomorrow, and every day after that. My voice shook. I was afraid that Umi might disappear at any moment. No matter what you write in it, it'll come true for sure. It can grant any wish. I strung my words together in desperation. So, you can write again. In your diary. Please. My words were cut short. She might be gone any
あ
second.
りがとうお父さん。でももういい。
Why? There's more you want to do, isn't there? Anything at all is okay, you know?
全部叶ったから。この夏休みすごく楽しかった。お母さんとお父さんと一緒に過ごせて本当に楽しかった。でもごめんなさい。私のせいで
Ah, it's
お母
fine.
さんも
Yeah, kids just do
お
that.
父さんも悪い子でごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ちゃ私のせいでお母さんもお父さんも
I mean, if we go back to the very beginning, it's really your dad's fault for having really bad coping mechanisms after, you know, Shirha died somehow.
私だけ幸せな気持ちになっちゃった。毎日嬉しくて本当に嬉しくて本当に幸せな時間で私ばっかりが
Mm-hmm,
こんなに幸せで
Alright, seems like we're back at, like, normal Umi again.
初めて夏が終わってほしくないって。お母さん幸せだったよ。みちゃんと出会えてとっても幸せだったよ。
And me too. Spending this summer with you is so much fun. You know that, right, Umi? So much fun. Too much. Spent the whole summer wishing it would go on forever, too. Even now, I'm still wishing.
お母さん
Okay, we're not fully normal Umi. We're still slightly lobotomized Umi.
ありがとう。私もすごくでもちょっとだけ
Yeah, you know, you'll meet again in like a
バイバイ。
couple years. Umi! A huge firework flew into the sky. For a moment, the whole world was lit up like it was the middle of the day. But some things vanished as well. Our shadows, and also. Huh?
どうしたの？
Why are you crying?
私？本当だ。どうして？
No, weird. We must be downwind from all the smoke.
でも入りだって。
Huh? Huh. I was crying as well. Now, crying didn't really do it justice. My nose was running, my entire face was a mess of tears. Shirha was in a similar state. Why were we... I had no clue whatsoever. The two of us had been watching the fireworks together. I was sure of it. But then... Something's... there's something Shiraha and I were both trying to say. And I was sure we were thinking it. As I reached out to grab it, it's like it slipped through my fingertips and disappeared off into the distance. And then, that thought, the thing I wanted to say, vanished from my mind. That felt so clear just a moment ago. It was gone, like a forgotten dream. All that was left was the unbearable sense of sadness tucked away in the corner of my heart. And a moment later, even that passed on.
なんだっけ?
Who knows? We were both at a loss. Felt like we'd been bewitched by a fox. All sorts of things had slipped beyond our reach.
花火終わっちゃったみたいだね.
Yeah. Wanna head home? We left, reluctantly, as if something was pulling at us to keep us there. And then... For a second, I thought I saw something glimmer through the darkness. Firework?
もう終わってるよ.
Right, yeah. Might have been my imagination, or maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me. But a moment later, those lingering doubts vanished, like fireworks in the summer sky. The little butterfly flew away. Truly tiny, little butterfly. Its light was stronger than all the other butterflies, and more ephemeral as well. It had been a long journey, beginning from the most trivial and missed meetings, a journey that stretched far into the distance. The dreams that I thought would surely never be granted had been made a reality. And so many of them, too. Now, those memories are my precious treasures. Memories of that summer vacation I repeated time and time again. In this little pocket of summer, one might say. Har 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 har. Summer where the memories of a person most precious led the way. A summer where the bonds between friends and family alike came to light. A summer where dazzling memories were made on borrowed time. Summer where the days overflowing with tender kindness. Summer where the strongest of bonds sprung forth from the smallest of adventures. Summer where selfless courage bound the fates of others. A summer where endless possibilities was found within the depths of resignation. And one last, final summer vacation, where I could be with my mom. Every one of them was fun. Every one of them was delightful. Every one of them was full of love and kindness. But then, someone spoke.
もういいの?
What could they have meant? I was already more than satisfied. But if it could only be allowed, I would stay here forever. Right by Mom's side. That's all I wanted. Summer vacation ended, and Dad went back home. It was the end of an incredibly fun summer vacation. But for the two of them, it was a beginning as well.
Yo, 久しぶり.
久しぶり.
So what are your parents gonna say when you get back and be like, okay, so, you know, I know I've been gone for like a couple weeks, but I kinda got married? Like, sure, not like in a legalistic sense, like the state doesn't recognize it, but, you know, for all intents and purposes, you know, I'm hitched. You know, at least you could call it like a betrothal. Until, like, you know, you actually go to the courthouse and sign the documents, but I imagine, you know, that would come as quite the shock. Dad came to the island the next summer as well. And not just then. After that, he started coming back over and over again. He worked his way through school, saved up money, and used it to return to the island and be with Mom. Whenever he was here, they were always together. They always had so much fun. They fought too, every once in a while, but they always made up right after. Mom and Dad smiling together. Just watching is enough to lift my spirits. I was satisfied. I was happy. Time flowed along. The seasons passed by. And then,
お邪魔します。
お世話になります。そんなかしこまらないで。
you're still here, huh, Kyoko? Did you... Are you still like the landlord? Did you get the house after Grandma croaked?
今日からここが二人の家なんだから。
It just kind of stayed in the family. Gotcha.
はい。
Dad moved to the island and started living in the Kanto family home, together with Mom. At that time, they were engaged to be married for real. And marry they did soon after. Everyone congratulated them. Took you long enough, they said. They all looked so happy. Just watching them made me happy too. I wish those happy times could carry on forever. And amidst that happiness, summer began anew. Summer, which I had grown to love. That fun summer that I'd spent together with Mom.
シロハ、どうかしたか？
うん。今、何か子供の笑い声が聞こえた気がして。
Ugh, spooky. You're like a shrine maiden, can't you exercise the house?
ハイリは聞こえなかった？
いや、何も。どんな声だった？
なんか、懐かしい感じ。
懐かしい。知ってる人？
わからないけど。
Someone that we'll meet, maybe? Maybe she felt my presence just a little bit. I'd be happy if that were true. One day, Mom waited for Dad to come home, a happy smile on her face.
ただいま。
おかえり。
うわ、びっくりした。なんで玄関に？
帰ってくるの待ってたの。
ここで？なんでまた？
聞いてほしいことがあるの。
なんだよ。なんか怖いな。
Mm-hmm.
あのね、赤ちゃんできた。
Huh? How'd that happen? Mom looked a little embarrassed when she told him.
赤ちゃん？
うん。
赤ちゃんって、狼に食べられるあれか？
Bambi.
それは赤ずきんじゃん。
じゃあ、赤ちゃんって。
赤ちゃん。私たちの赤ちゃん。
マジで？
マジ。
やったー！
He's like, oh fuck, I need to get a better job. Though actually, they probably don't have that many expenses, thinking about it. I don't know what he does for work, if he works here on the island, or, well, he probably commutes to the mainland, being honest. I doubt he's, working on a fucking fishing boat. Though he could work for, like, the city municipal here on the island. But it's not like they got a mortgage. The house is paid for. They got it basically for free. So what, they got property taxes and utilities? Like, sure, kids are expensive, but, the house is a lot more expensive. Fuck, yeah, he can do it. Single breadwinner income. Dad shouted loud enough that the entire island could probably hear him and threw his arms around Mom.
ちょっと！
あ、ごめん。
Yeah, don't puke on me. But he let her go right after.
大事な体なんだから、あんまり強く抱きしめちゃダメだよな。
うん。でも、優しくなら平気だと思う。
うん。じゃあ。
Dad embraced Mom again, this time truly gently. Mom happily snuggled up close to him, too. Felt like I could remember their warmth from back then. I probably felt it within them, inside of her. Thinking that I was there, sighed Mom, gave me a kind of strange feeling. To think that the news that I would be born had made them this happy. I was blessed long before I was even born. The two of them loved me just that much. Ah.
よいしょっと。
大丈夫？荷物重くない？ちょっと買いすぎたんじゃない？
でも船代がもったいないからまとめ買いしないと。
He's got a point.
これからは家族も増えるんだし、何かと物入りだし、節約しないとな。
うん、そうだね。
And somehow, deep down in my soul, I know about foraging for edible, herbs around the island, so we'll be able to live very economically.
荷物
Very healthily, too.
少し持つよ。
いいっていいって。大丈夫。白羽は大事な体なんだから。
うん、ありがとう。
旦那が妙に優しくなるときはやましいことがあるときだな。
おい、タチの悪い冗談言うなよ。
このぐらいの冗談でどうこうなる仲じゃないだろ。熱々なんだからな。
まあな。
荷物持ちを手伝いに来たぞ。
いいのか？悪いな。
ついでにお祝いも持ってきた。
早くないか？
あって困るものじゃないだろう。
そうだな。で、これ何？
Yeah, what is it?
ピンポン玉。国際公認の3スター10ダースだ。
Oh, okay.
あって困る。
なは
あ、シロハいたいた。いいレモンが手に入ったからあげるわ。
Ooh, lemons.
レモン？
They're good for you.
ほら、妊娠すると酸っぱいものが欲しくなるって言うじゃない？
Just kind of weird things in general. I don't know
でも
about
それは
sour.
個人差があって、
Yeah.
私はそんなに。
You can make like, it's like the candied lemon peels.
いいからいいか
They're
ら。
actually really good if you do them properly.
他に欲しいものあったら遠慮なく言ってよ。うん、ありがとう。こういう時は助け合いだ。
Oh god, fucking... It's always like a flashbang to see, casual clothes Nomiki. What, we've seen it like a couple times? Like, probably you could count it on a single hand the amount of times we've seen, like, school uniform Nomiki. Wild.
飲みき。島の青年団の会議は終わったのか？
今年の夏鳥の儀の夏鳥役は滞りなく決まった。堀田さんのところの娘さんだ。
Someone texted me. Nothing I care about.
シロハ
おじいちゃん？
ベイビー服を買ってきたぞ。
え、また？
Oh, you make them yourself?
34着目だな。
Dad, my great grandpa, and all the other islanders. Everybody was ready to help Mom out. Watching everybody be so kind to her made me happy too. Plus, everyone was eagerly awaiting my birth. I was so happy to see it. Shiroha, where'd the rummed ham go? Shiroha with the suspiciously rum ham-shaped lump in her stomach. Mom's belly had grown nice and big. She hummed quietly to me inside her. All of a sudden, her song stopped. She placed a hand on her belly.
今動いた？あ、また。
Yeah, the rummed ham. Looked like the other me had started kicking. Mom was absolutely beaming with happiness.
とっても元気。
She gently patted her belly.
聞こえるかな？お母さんだよ。
She smiled, delighted. But then, her eyes suddenly snapped wide open. She stared into space, like she was looking at something far off in the distance.
そんな、
Future premonition.
この子は私とは。
Mom's expression clouded over with despair. Ah, I understand. I realized that just now. Mom saw something. Something about my future. About the future where I'd live on without her by my side.
そんな、もうずっと見ていなかったのに、ど うして。
Almost in tears, she turned to look at me. At the me that she shouldn't be able to see. As if she were staring directly at me.
はあ、そういうことなんだ。だから私に会いに来てくれたんだね。あの夏。
Mom had remembered about that summer vacation. About those brief, fun moments we spent together. And about how, in the end, I disappeared.
海ちゃん。
Mom called my name. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Mom cried for me.
海ちゃん。ごめんね。
Don't say that. You didn't do anything wrong. I wanted to tell her. I wanted to scream it out. But I no longer had a voice. I couldn't do anything for her.
Tadaima!
Night fell, and Dad arrived back home. By that time, Mom had completely calmed down
お
again.
かえりなさい。
She greeted Dad with a smile. I read that. She had a smile that showed she'd come to sort of understanding. A smile that hinted she'd given up on something. Dad didn't notice at all.
あのね、この子の名前のことなんだけど。
She stroked her belly as she spoke.
それならいい名前を思いついたんだ。
ハイリも？
もってじゃあ白羽も？
うん。でも、そうなんだ。
Mm-hmm.
いや白羽が決めたなら
I
そっち
mean,
の名前の方がいいと思う。
you can talk about it.
俺のセンスは微妙かもしれないし。
うんうん。ハイリが考えた名前も聞きたい。
じゃあせーので同時に言ってみるか。
そうしよう。
じゃあ海。
There we go. Mom and Dad said the same name at the same time. They said my name. Their eyes widened with surprise.
今海って？
Yeah, but how's it spelled? With what characters?
うん。
Sorry, I'm just tapping away on my phone.
ハイリも？
I know, how rude of me.
海。
They stood there for a moment, still wide-eyed, until they finally broke down in laughter.
すごいな。二人して同じ名前を考えてたなんて。
うん。ほんと。あ、もしかして。
Indeed, every day I take the ferry and I see the ocean, the umi, one might say.
覚えてるの？
え？覚えてるって何を？
なんでもない。
Mom shook her head with a smile. Wasn't that Dad had remembered? Not really. Somewhere deep inside him, a little piece of those memories still remained. Just that much was enough to make me
字
overjoyed.
は？
羽に未来の実で海はどうかな。なんとなくそれがいいような気がして。
うん。
Har 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 har. If you saw it, it must have been like a really good. I wouldn't call it a pun, but you know, wordplay, play on the name. You know, however you want to do it. You know, a Japanese linguistic, you know, extra element of being like, oh, Umi, you know, with the future character in her name, and she's from the future. Oh.
私たちの子供が未来に羽ばたけるように。
そうだな、海。いい名前だ。
うん。とっても。
あ、でも海って女の子の名前だよな。
I mean, I guess.
男の子だった時の名前も考えておいた方がいいよな。
大丈夫。
え？
この子は海ちゃん。間違いないよ。
Mom wrapped her arms around her belly.
海ちゃん、あなたは海ちゃんになったよ。早く元気に生まれてきてね。
From then on, Mom changed just a little. While Dad was out at work, she poured through the old books that were left in the Kato family shed day after day.
何か方法が
It seemed she was looking for a method to prevent my power to return to the past from manifesting. I couldn't stop her. There was nothing I could do.
絶対にこの子を守ってみせる
At the same time, it was painfully clear to me. Even before I was born, Mom loved me more than I'd ever
こ
imagined.
んな力がなければずっと考えてた私のこの不思議な力は本当に未来を見ているんだろうかって
I mean, it's close?
私は見てしまうことで止めてしまっているんじゃないかないくつもある可能性をそれを一つに定めてしまう力なのかも全部が仮説全部が想像でしかないけど
Yeah, that's stupid. Why do you even think that, Shira?
でもこんな力がなければ未来は変わるかもしれないのにふみちゃんを普通の女の子でいさせてあげられたのに
I already knew. I knew that there were many different possible futures. I'd seen them over and over, time and time again as I repeated that summer. Each repetition, an entirely new summer played out. Once, Dad said something. He said that, as long as we don't give up, we can change the future. So then, what could change that summer? What if Mom never obtained the power to see the future?
白羽はまだ寝ないのか？
うんもうちょっとすることがあってハイリは先に寝てて
そうか。手伝うけど。
うんそんなにかからないから
Yeah, it's girl stuff. You don't want to bore
お
yourself
や
with
すみな
this.
さい
Dad went to bed, and Mom took out a piece of writing paper. As she grew weaker and weaker, little by little, she began to write a letter. It was a letter for me in the future. To record a message for me that she wouldn't be able to pass on directly. And finally, summer was coming to its end.
白羽生まれたぞ。海だ。俺たちの娘が生まれたんだ。
Man, why does everyone always do at-home births here? Like, go to the fucking hospital. You're in Japan. You don't. You're like, payment after insurance is gonna be like $5.
なあ目を開けてくれよ。白羽嫌だ。こんな白羽
I was born, and in exchange, Mom passed away. Dad was crying. My great-grandpa too. Not just him. Everyone on the island cried for her. Unable to shed tears myself, I could only watch it all happen with complete clarity. Mom pushed herself too hard to save me, to spare me from my own mysterious power. She wanted to let me be born a normal girl, and she kept searching for a method to do so. Her body was already weakened by her pregnancy, and she never spared a thought for her own sake. She was always only thinking about me. I never wanted to see a tragedy like this. I wanted to run away. And as I poured all my strength into that thought, the world was engulfed in whiteness. I remembered that feeling. It's like something was spilling out from inside my head. It was how it felt when I returned to the past. The harbor. The ferry had just arrived.
大丈夫ですか？
悪いね
いえ。
This is that summer vacation day when Dad first came to the island. Even though I didn't have a body anymore. Had my heart returned to the past on its own? All I could do was watch. It ran away. Again. But this summer, I won't be here anymore. Dad and Mom won't grow close to each other. And that means the future will change. Yeah, he'll just get really into ping pong, but he'll get like really good at it. Thank goodness. Mom won't have to die.
さてと罪を洗い流すオアシスか。
Dad set off on foot, and I flew along beside him. I decided to watch over him throughout the summer. If a summer without me would save Mom, it'd be better this way. I was convinced. But that wasn't how it turned out.
明かりも少ないし危ないと思うんだ。せめて人がいる時間に。
Yeah, you're giving yourself a little too much credit there, Umi. You didn't do that much, you know, in the first run through of Shiraha's route.
恋
You mainly just like fucked off to play around town.
え？恋？
The
どす
fish?
恋
Mom and Dad met. They began their summer together. Even though I wasn't around, they followed the same steps through that summer vacation.
夏の思い出ってのはこうやって残していくもんだからな。もっと寄って寄って。
こう
じゃあ行くぞ。はいチーズ。おお、思ったより本格的。
でしょ
じゃあ。
うん
Another summer full of memories. And each one brought the two of them closer to each other. Mom and Dad fell in love. It's almost as if they were traveling towards a predestined future. And so, I saw it once more. Again, that same scene.
あ、今動いた？あ、また。え、そん
Did you get it in stereo this time?
この子は私とは、そう
Yep.
そういうことなんだ。だから私に会いに来てくれたんだね。あの夏、海ちゃん。
Mom looked at me. Why? We never met that summer vacation, so why?
海ちゃん、ごめんね。
Mom still knew me. Oh, I get it. So that's how it is. Mom's the same as me. She hadn't been seeing the future. Her heart's been traveling back to her from it. I'll be born, and Mom will die. I was unable to accept that reality. Turned my eyes away from it, and returned to that summer once more. The path forward had already been set in stone. Mom was repeating it too. We were spinning around and around in a cage that was that summer. Well, that's depressing. Summer's end arrived once more.
シロハ生まれたぞ。海だ。俺たちの娘が生まれたんだ。なあ目を開けてくれよ。シロハ嫌だ。こんなシロハ。
I'm born, and Mom passes away in exchange. And then, once again, my heart returned to the past.
大丈夫ですか？
悪いね。
いえ。
Yep, hey Japu. Once more, the same summer played its course. It moved onward, towards that unavoidable tragedy, towards the future. No, not the future. After all, to us, it wasn't the future, but the past. It was a result that had already come and gone. What can I do?
こんな力がなければ未来は変わるかもしれないのに、海ちゃんを普通の女の子でいさせてあげられたのに。
All right. I know I said I'd cut it at an hour and a half, but you already know this because you're watching the video. Unless you've been so locked in you haven't been watching the, time count on the bottom tick by, or saw the time code when you, clicked on the video. Yeah, I guess you're just all oblivious like that. We're in there. It feels like we're like right at the end. So we'll keep going just a bit. Just a bit longer. That's right. We'd be better off without this power to return to the past. Mom searched that whole time for a method to do away with it, for my sake. I know. I know what causes this power to manifest. It happens when you need to escape from unbearable sadness. When you cling to the past with all your might, forsaking the future. And that means there must have been a time when Mom went through that too.
さてと罪を洗い流すオアシスか。
I watched Dad's back as he walked into the distance. But I wouldn't follow him this time. I went off towards the place I knew I needed to go. It was sure to be a place far, far away. A journey so long, I'd never be able to return. A place where I could never exist. I'll go. I continued my journey, desperately flapping my little wings as hard as I could, crossing all over a colossal sea of memories. As I flew, I heard all sorts of voices pass me by. No, not voices. I knew that what I was hearing were my own memories falling away from me. It's like I was leaving everything behind me over the course of my journey. The place I aimed for was just that far away. As much as I flapped my wings, as much as I flew on, my memories spilled out from me in equal measure. I'd gone through so many summers. I'd received so many memories, so many precious emotions. And yet all of them grew vague and indistinct. Suddenly, one of them addressed me. It was a very familiar voice.
満足した？
Oh, I see. I can meet her here. Lost too many memories to know who she was anymore. But her voice nearly brought me to tears. Here, in this space outside time, it wasn't just one or two of us. People with the same power were all around me.
満足した？
Yeah, I got the fun summer vacation I'd always wanted.
もう満足だね。
I was. There was no question about it. I'd received an amount of happiness and memories, more than I could ever carry with me.
じゃあもうこっちには来ちゃダメだよ。
No. I have to go. I have to go, but at this point, I've even forgotten what I looked like. At this rate, I'll lose myself.
もしもどうしても会いたくなったらこれを使うの。これは私の羽。この羽を使えば会えるから。
Cool. To meet. But to meet with who? My consciousness was drifting away from me. But someone held me up from behind. They pulled me by the hand. I wasn't alone. No, I didn't know who was there. All I knew was that they were someone else wandering through this space outside of time. The presence was warm and somehow nostalgic. A myriad of memories served in place of the body I'd lost. And each of those memories was almost like a prayer. I want to save her. Those words made up each and every one of them. My consciousness grew clearer, and I could see an exit.
さようなら。
And the world was engulfed by a dazzling brilliance.
ゆりかごに小さな蝶そっと止まった歌うあなたの横顔
Alright, well, we got an explanation for the orbs of light, that they were, you know, memories in a sense. Is this credits for real? Anything after the credits? Is this end? You know, end, you know, go to title and it's like, woo, congratulations, you did it? Or are we getting epilogue? I feel an epilogue coming. I do. You know, not a very long one, but I feel it in my bones. But even if we didn't, I would say that's a good enough ending. Where, you know, we're smart boys and girls here. We are somewhat media literate. Enough to, you know, understand that, you know, as tragic as it is, this would be, you know, a good ending. However, there are threads that we, you know, still need answered here. Well, I wouldn't say need, but would be nice to, like ooh, what's the actual end of the storybook? You know, what's that note that Shiroha was writing? You know, that we saw there at the end. You know, as she's pregnant. You know, inevitably for a future where she's not there. You know, something to her daughter. That would be nice. And as nice as this ending track is, we are stuck listening to it the entire time. I say stuck like that's a bad thing, but no. No, let it go. It's just kind of hard to formulate my thoughts a little while a very talented, you know, vocal artist is belting lyrics into my ears. But we're getting the key, which means we are going to get our actual fade out, epilogue here. Cleared Alka tail. Woo. Oh, no, is that just it? Or do we get like a epilogue end now? Yeah. Pocket. Pocketto. The final end, one would assume. But ladies and gentlemen, that we'll have to wait until next time. At least I'm pretty sure that's the end. But let me double check before I actually just sign off for real, and then that just ends up being like a super anticlimactic, you know. I don't, you know, finalize my thoughts at the end of the video. If it was, I would just come back and, you know, do it again for real. You know, like a 10 to like 30-minute summary of the not summary, but like a summary of my thoughts about the game. As I pull up the Wako through. Which isn't very specific. Oh god, I don't want to get spoiled. I don't want to get spoiled so bad. Hold on. A novel one, maybe? I've been using the other one, but let me just check here. Okay, yep. Okay. So there is more. I didn't click on anything. Just so we know. I don't know anything about it, but there's Pocket, which is like the actual like ending, and then there's an epilogue after that, which I don't feel like that's spoilery, you know, because at this point it's like, okay, it'll just keep going until, you know, we get a definitive credit roll. Hey, but look at that. I was pretty close on my hour and a half guesstimate, and I was also real close that we were like right at the end of that, right there. So, yeah, I think that was good. I think we've, like, tied up most things. We just have a couple threads left to pull on that were laid out in that last section right there. So everything's, like, neatly pointing us in a single direction. So I'm ready. I'm ready to move on to Pocket next time. The summer Pocket, one might say. Who keeps texting me? No one. It's Uma Musume letting me know. It doesn't even say anything. It just says fucking Uma Musume. Like, it's like, hey, this thing's still on your phone. It's still on your phone. Come play. Come spend, you know, half an hour to 45 minutes in a career. I actually haven't played Uma Musume in like 2 weeks, and that's kind of the reason why it takes a long time to go through a career run. I know, crazy tangent time for Uma Musume right at the end of Alka, where so many dramatic big reveals happened. But I'm tired. But the sheer length of Uma Musume careers kind of makes it hard to sit down and like go through one real quick when I have 5 minutes at work when it's like, fuck, that'll get me through like one race and I gotta do how many of those fuckers? It's like, that ain't happening. But anyway, Alka route, yes. As a like final run through, you know, of like the summer, you know, the main game, you know, the critical route. I think it was good. It was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't really have anything negative to say on it because it was good. You know, tight narrative, a couple things left unresolved, but that's because they're lead-ins to the other stuff, so I can't really be too mad about that. You know, otherwise, if you wrapped up literally everything every single time, it'd be like a cold open every single time, and there'd be like, it wouldn't have as much of a nice, you know, narrative lead-in to each other. I'm sure you can make it work, and that's fine, but I like it when there's, you know, just kind of like, oh, you know, we'd wrapped up these, but, you know, what about over here? What, you know, what about this? Huh? You know, the little plot hook to dangle in front of people's eyes to lead them in a certain direction, which, like I said, that's like the storybook, the last few pages that every single time it comes up, it's like, yoink, yoink, no, don't look at that, look over here. You know, narrative really fucking whacking you upside the head with it. It's like, hey, this is important, it'll answer some things. You know, you want to see this, remember, don't forget. And then, you know, right there at the 11th hour, you know, it's like, oh, Shirha knows that she's cooked. She ate too much of that rummed ham and is gonna, you know, just like completely, you know, I don't even know what I was gonna say. Crash out, like crash. Yes, from eating too much. You know, too much Thanksgiving turkey. She's gonna go take a nice long nap on the couch. So she needs to write a note to her daughter in the future, which will. Oh God, what would Pocket be? Is Pocket going to be Umi actually going to the island? You know, post you know, everything anniversary of Shiraha's death. You know, that one. You know, not Shiraha, Umi Prime. You know, original Umi that started this whole thing off. You know, is that where we're going? And that is the Pocket. And then she finds the note and they read it and they're very sad together. And then they, you know, trauma bond about it, being like, oh, your mother meant so much to me, Umi. And, you know, Takahata found, you know, solace watching The Sopranos, and he just speaks like a fucking Italian American in New Jersey. Now that's just what he does. He has a big fat gold chain and a receding hairline, and sausage fingers. And then they go to like family therapy about it, and then happily ever after. Is that exactly what's going to happen? Probably not. It might, maybe a little. That's my theory. Is now we're going back to, you know, the farthest we've gone in the timeline so far and playing it off from there. Do I have any, you know, anything for that? No, I don't. But it'd be like, oh, they go through the storage shed and they find, you know, would they find the picture book? Maybe. If it's like Umi Prime, it'd be like before Umi ever went back. But Umi also knows those things, which means, you know, some of it happened. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if a little timeline chicanery, you know, causes a little something bleed over. You know, maybe, you know, one or two things to, you know, inconsequential as far as, you know, timelines are concerned. You know, the world's not going to go out of whack because, you know, a fucking arts and crafts, you know, 10-page picture book fell out from one timeline into the other. You know, it's no big deal. I'm sure it'll buff. You know, it'll all come out of the wash. No, it might make sense. Might not, or we're dealing with actual, you know, closed loop time travel story where, you know, it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing, like which came first. was Umi always there? But if Umi was always there, where did Umi come from, kind of thing? Or does the plot just go, it's key magic, I don't gotta explain shit, fucking go touch grass, go post about it on the Kazamatsuri board, which no longer exists. Very sad. The Discord still exists, though. It's just everything's like locked. I'm pretty sure some people still post in there, but it's kind of like it's one of those servers now. I think fuck, I haven't fucking looked in there in years. But the vibe I was getting was like kind of just like a personal server now, where it's like the admins and stuff and their friends just kind of post around. But if not, if you're in there, if you're in the Kazamatsuri server, just ping me, bro. Book club, anyone? Bueller? No? Okay. I've wasted enough of your guys' time. I need to go to sleep desperately. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to process this video and get it uploaded ASAP. So, once again, I would like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and check out the Discord link in the description down below. Become a member today and give me your money, and I will see you all next time for the next episode. Potentially the final. I don't know. I don't know how long Pocket's going to be. If Pocket's like... I don't think Pocket is another Alka. I think it's going to be maybe an episode or two. I'll see if I can get it down into one, and then the kind of epilogue there afterwards. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. See how it goes. So yeah, enjoy your day, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.